Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. So today I wanted to talk about TSM a little bit. And I know by the time this video goes out, TSM will probably already have played their fourth game of the season against Golden Guardians. But right now I'm recording this during the Immortals Cloud9 game. So TSM and Golden Guardians haven't played yet. I don't know, obviously, what has happened in that game. I don't know. Maybe, if TSM wins, we can spam, hey, TSM's back. TSM's amazing. They beat Golden Guardians. Like, hey, the whole season's turning around. But if TSM loses that game, make sure you meme them in the comments and stuff, because man, an 0-4 start to this season would be rough, especially with honestly how kind of relatively easy their schedule has been to start the season. But like I said, I don't know how it's gone, but what I wanted to talk about today was TSM and a recent meme, a recent angle that some people were going with that I think is pretty hilarious and pretty funny, so I just want to show you guys. But also I think it brings up a pretty interesting discussion that I want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. I would appreciate that a ton, and subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Help us run those numbers up a little bit. We're all excited for the 2022 season. Before you know it, the kind of off season between spring and summer is going to be there. You guys know we're going to be covering that heavily, but hey, we're just coming at you with that consistent competitive League of Legends content. With that being said, let's get right into this one. So like I said, obviously kind of a rough start to the season for TSM. Right now they are currently tied for last in the LCS. Now, yes, obviously that's kind of not fair language 3 games into the season, but I mean, it's true. It's technically true. They're tied for last. Them and CLG are sitting down here as the 2 0-3 teams. And you could say TSM's maybe had a tough schedule when you look at it. Like, yes, they've played FlyQuest, who's undefeated. Yes, they played Dig, who's 2-1, and has maybe looked better than people expected. And maybe FlyQuest has looked better than people expected too. And they played Evil Geniuses, who is also a pretty solid team. But I mean, if you start saying that FlyQuest and Dig are pretty tough, solid teams, and that's a tough strength of schedule, then everyone in the LCS has had a tough strength of schedule, because that's not counting Liquid, Cloud9, 100 Thieves. There's so many other teams that you could be playing. Like, you got to play somebody. What TSM's excuse is, oh, we haven't played CLG yet. So like I said, they're going to play Golden Guardians. It'll be, a team that's at least 1-2. We'll see how TSM does with that. But they are at 0-3 in the standings right now. And what this brings me to is this from Reddit, which a ton of people have just thought was absolutely hilarious. I tweeted this out because I thought it was such a good post. It's getting a ton of likes on Twitter. But anyway, dating back to this post from Reggie, this says 4 months ago. I don't know. I guess this was actually 4 months ago. I guess this was in the off season, when he was doing like AMAs and stuff on Reddit. Pretty much somebody said, like, are you worried at all about TSM being the next CLG, or maybe just that I think TSM could be the next CLG? This old glory org that had all this hype and fanfare and fan base and legacy before kind of fading away into irrelevancy, kind of fading away into nothingness. And again, TSM's not there yet, but it's just a question of, is TSM headed down that track? And Reggie's response was, there's no fucking way I would ever let us end up like CLG. I would sell my house, car, clothes, everything to sign the best talent at that point. Now, this was an interesting statement for a couple reasons. One, it really got TSM fans excited, and it really got all LCS fans excited, because a ton of people were like, hell yeah, no, I feel that. TSM is this org that has a different level of respect, a different level of dignity, a different level of self-pride, that they would never let this happen. Yeah, CLG is a joke. TSM, hey, they might not be what they once were, but they're not a joke. They're still competitive. They're still a top 5 team. They don't totally suck or anything like that. And really, a ton of people bought into this. A ton of people, were buying what Reggie was selling. And I also think the second statement, I would sell my house, car, and clothes, my everything to sign the best talent at that point. It's like, one, why is TSM not already doing everything in their power to sign the best talent at that point? And I thought this was very, very interesting, especially going through the offseason where they just had, where they went, a little bit cheap, where they didn't really shell out all the money they could have. There was so many amazing players on the market. Vulcan ended up getting moved. TSM's been looking for a support like Vulcan for so long. Reckless was on the market. Han Sama gets brought in. There's Jensen, there's Niski, there's all these guys in all the different positions that TSM needs. Obviously Alfari goes back to EU. There's just a ton of amazing players. Bwipo comes to Team Liquid. Hey, TSM could use an amazing top laner. I know people love Huni. I'm not really sold on him. I think Bwipo has already proven he's pretty significantly better than Huni. All these different options, and TSM ends up with this team that some people I think are wanting to, like, mega copium. Oh, this team's going to be a title contender in 2 or 3 years. Oh, this team's going to Worlds. But again, I don't see it. I don't totally believe in it, and whatever. But he says, we're never going to end up like CLG. I won't let us do that. And then here we are. We're sitting. Yes, it's only 3 games into the season, but TSM is right in CLG territory. They are both 0-3. And again, do I think TSM has as bad of a roster as CLG? No, I think TSM will definitely finish better than CLG at the end of the season. But it does bring up the question, and it does bring up the points of, is TSM headed down that CLG road? And does Reggie saying there's no fucking way I would ever let us do, does that mean anything? Do you think CLG set out to become what they've become? Do you think it was an intentional decision of, like, we could stop it, or let's not stop it? Like, no, it just happens. It's ineptitude, it's poor decision making, it's poor roster management, it's poor personnel decisions, it's poor management, poor coaching, poor systems in place. All of this stuff, and a lot of it starts from the top down. I think we are seeing, especially over the past couple of years, more and more that maybe Reggie is not the greatest leader. Maybe he is not the greatest piece of management for TSM in a lot of different ways. And it's very, very interesting. Yes, TSM was absolutely dominant. They went through possibly the best run in North American history, and possibly the best run we will ever see, even going into the future in North American history. But that was at a time where TSM had more money, more resources, more talent, and a lot of that is thanks to Reggie. He built something amazing. He built something great. But just because somebody was good once back in the day, or was the right person for TSM at the time, or whatever, doesn't mean they are the best person for eternity, or that that changes anything today. And CLG, they didn't become irrelevant overnight. They didn't suck in one season. It's a slow, steady decline that TSM has absolutely been on the last couple of years. Again, TSM, look at their results the last 3 or 4 years. 1 title, 1 Worlds appearance. They went 0-6. I think they made it to 2 finals, and yeah, they probably should have won that other finals versus Ventinted, but they didn't. We can always say what if, or this or that, or hypotheticals. I don't know. They've been on a descent for a while. And again, I have not been impressed with this TSM team to start. Is there maybe some signs of life? Yeah, sure. But people are making so many excuses for this roster and so many excuses for this team. And I really think it's a way bigger issue than even just the talent on the team, which I don't think this team has top 3 talent in North America. I don't think next year they'll have top 3 talent in North America. I think they need to make a lot of changes to the roster, a lot of changes to management, coaching, everything that's going on. The systems at TSM have been broken and are still broken, and it is getting them, at least in my opinion, closer and closer to CLG status. And a couple years from now, we're really at like a inflection point where TSM can maybe turn things around, maybe go on a crazy run, maybe get back up to being a C9 TL 100 Thieves type level, or maybe they're going to end up in CLG territory. And it is just kind of funny, being united in rivalry. We have all these memes, CLG 0-3 after all this time, TSM always. They're back, they're back together at the bottom. And honestly, the TSM fan base is going with them. People are tired of this. People have, supported TSM the last couple of years through some really, really rough seasons. And now everything's changing. And we've heard all the excuses. We've heard all the talk, and things haven't gotten better. Recently, TSM Legends got put out 2 days ago. This is supposed to be the biggest and best piece of content really in all of esports. It's TSM's flagship piece of content. 47,000 views in the last 2 days. And then you look at a team like Cloud9. They put out a voice comms that got 145,000 views. They put out, just like a regular video. They got 53,000 views. They put out a behind the scenes. They got 177,000 views. And this is TSM's main, highly edited, highly produced docu-series type content that's getting 47,000 views in 2 days on a channel with 2.34 million subs. Fans are not excited. The team is not performing. Other teams are performing and aren't making excuses. Other content is popping off. Again, this is just another way in which TSM is going down that CLG road. And you can continue to deny it, or you can continue to make excuses for them, or say, oh, Reggie would never let that happen. Again, like somebody at CLG, just let it happen. No, they tried it very, very actively to fight against it. Now, did TSM have, did CLG have different issues than TSM in terms of, the MSG group and management and ownership and all this other weird stuff? Yeah, sure, but TSM has their fair share of ownership and management and issues like that as well. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to, get this out to you guys because I thought this was absolutely hilarious. Just putting that Reggie quote together with the standings right now. And again, we're 3 weeks into the season. This isn't how the standings are going to end, but it is a fair, conversation or at least discussion to have at this point, because TSM is not pointing in the right direction at this current moment. And I don't think it's going to change in 1 week. I don't think it's going to change in 1 month, one split, one season. I think it's going to be a multi-year process before we see TSM rebound from this stuff, because this is not just this year. Look at the past couple of years. TSM has had issues. This just seems like the first issue that they're maybe trying to address some stuff. It's going to be time before we see TSM back on top again. Who knows if they ever reach the CLG lows, but I think CLG lows are more likely than, the old TSM highs anytime soon. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Tell me, drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about TSM. Do you think they're ever going to go down the route of CLG, or, do you think they'll return to their former prominence and glory? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hope to catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.